sprints out. Looking. Stops. In trouble, and he gets decked at the 30-yard line. Wow. What a hit. And that's Perry on Winfrey. Here's Mertz. In the pocket, and he gets crushed. Wow. Daxton Hill shot out of a cannon. In reverse, into the hands of Presley. Presley, the wide receiver, just got lit up. J.L. Skinner laying the wood.
Welcome back to the Devy IDP grind. We've got a midweek special for you. Me and Justice is here, and we've got a guest, Markel Perry, defensive lineman from Sam Houston State. How's it going, Markel?
Oh, it's going great. Blessed and highly favored.
Yeah, well, we thank you for joining us, taking the time to do this. We know you're busy. Camp is almost upon you, so you said you was trying to move, so we thank you for finding a few minutes to do this with us.
Oh yes, sir. I'm grateful to be here. You know, I'm grateful to be able to have the opportunity to get more exposure and have a good conversation with you guys.
Awesome. So we'll get started. We'll try not to keep you too long. Like I said, you played for Sam Houston State, but you began your career at Ozen High School Panthers in Beaumont, Texas. You was the team captain there. You was a 2015 22 5A All-District second team and All-First team in 2016. Then in college, you were second team selection in the All-Southland Conference and then first team selection in the All-WAC as y'all changed conferences. And you currently have 44 games played, 14 starts, 118 tackles, 68 solos, 38 and a half TFLs, 16 and a half sacks, 4 PBUs, 1 forced fumble, and 2 fumble recoveries. And then last year in the WAC, you finished in the top 10 in the FCS and all of FCS with 15 TFLs. So you led the WAC and you finished top 10. And then 2020-21, if everyone remembers, that was the split season where you had the fall, spring. You was part of the FCS National Championship Team. So you got a little bit of everything going on. So,
Yes, sir. You know, all I can say is that it was just, you know, effort and then the support system I had behind me that helped me get where I am today.
I saw
awesome.
where
So,
for this coming year, your third team preseason All-American, which is pretty cool.
Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. That was a surprise to me, you know, and a big blessing. I was just sitting down, you know, trying to get everything together. Like you said, I was moving, and I just happened to get a ping on my iPhone, and I seen that it said, you know, Markel Perry, you know, third team All-American. And, you know, it's been, you know, one of my biggest dreams to be labeled as an All-American, you know, so to see that dream come true, you know, it's a real blessing, you know.
That's cool,
yeah,
man. That's a great honor.
Pretty high honor for sure. And I think you're crackling just a little bit.
I got it going through my phone. I have my laptop.
That's all right. That's all right. So we'll start at the beginning. Who introduced you to the game of football?
Honestly, it was my stepfather, my mom's husband. So I was actually originally playing basketball because everybody in my family, you know, they played basketball. And I played basketball Little League probably about a year. And I ended up playing football 1 year, flag football. And, you know, flag football teams, you know, little kids, they always end up tackling anyway. So once I heard
Right.
once I heard I could get a helmet on and shoulder pads and actually tackle, you know, I fell in love with the game. You know, I can go out there and be aggressive, you know what I'm saying? And it's just been strictly football since.
Yeah, it's funny you talk about flag football. I remember I got hurt way more often in flag football than I ever did in real football.
Yeah. Yeah, my oldest son played it for like 1 year, and he's like, I want to play tackle. I don't want to do this tomorrow. So I was like, okay, whatever. So you went to Sam Houston State. Why did you choose the Bearcats to further your football career?
Honestly, it's because I believe first, the most important thing for me was my school. I wanted to make sure that academically they would be able to support me in what I wanted to go to school for, and they had that. I started off trying to go into electrical engineering, so they had engineering technology, which was like part of that. So they had that, and it was awesome. It was a plus, and then they had like a real good winning culture. I had a lot of
Right.
D1 from their like rival schools. It was in the Southland Conference, like McNeese, SFA, and Lamar, which was like my hometown college. So, seeing that they had a great winning program and knowing that I would have the opportunity to be a part of that program, that was just a plus on top of the academic standpoint.
Awesome.
Did you mentioned engineering? Was the football coaches, were they supportive of that? I know sometimes I feel like I hear stories where the coaches will say, "Well, that's too tough of a curriculum. You need to pick something easier."
Oh no, they were completely supportive of it. They broke down the support system that they had just in case I needed extra help. From the tutoring to our study hall and how that helped players be able to reach their goals academically. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, they weren't trying to tutor me from that degree.
Oh, that's good.
Cool.
Yes, sir.
So what are your likes and dislikes about the recruiting process when you were trying to decide you're going to Sam Houston State or these other schools, McNeese or whoever Lamar was trying to recruit you? What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? Is there something that you wish they would change?
The entire recruitment process, I say it was a great experience, because I was a senior in high school, excited, because I didn't even think, I would be able to have that many opportunities to play college D1 football, so seeing offers come in or roll in, bing, 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 it just made you become more excited after each one that you get, after each coach that you talk to. I say the hardest part, or the part that I disliked about it, was making a decision, because it was ultimately my decision. It wasn't my parents' decision, or no one like that. So I had to make the decision where I wanted to go, and that kind of like it conflicted because I was leaning one way, and I was leaning another way. And one thing I can say is that, I try not to say this a lot because, I kind of got side-eyed for it a little bit when I went on my visit to Sam Houston, but I was originally committed to SFA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The reason because of that was because Sam Houston was in playoffs, so they didn't have a chance to come and talk to me one-on-one. So SFA came before them, and I had conversations with them. And, after my Sam Houston visit, that's whenever everything changed over for me. So really those two were the top two teams that I was like tug of war in between, So I would say that's pretty much how I feel about the whole recruiting process coming out.
So that was going to be my next question. If you hadn't went to Sam Houston, where would you have went? So it sounds like SFA would have been was going to be the pick.
Yeah, yes, sir. SFA would have been the pick. I might probably say I'm a Bearcat, but yeah, they were.
Right. Well, good. I'm sure they're glad that they've got you on the roster and playing for them, and didn't miss out on you. I had mentioned that we had one of your former teammates, Zion McCollum, on. He was an interviewee with us last year. You were on that national championship team with him. How did it feel to be crowned national champion?
Man, being crowned a national champion, it's something that few people can say that they have done. Like I said, I played college football. Like I said, that they even were All-American players in college football, but you can say that they were national champions. And coming from high school, I was never deemed a champion. So having that experience, it was probably one of the greatest experiences I had in my life so far, and it was amazing seeing like all the hard work and dedication that me and my teammates, did, and all the adversity that we went through, pays off at the end, because we went through adversity. As COVID, from the ice storm, not having locker rooms, so seeing us go that far and win it all with all those, all that adversity facing us, it was amazing. It was a real blessing.
Yeah, I watched you a lot that year, and y'all had one heck of a defense. I don't know that you let up once you got into the playoffs. It's like you just put your foot on the gas and never let up. You knew that you were destined to be champions, and y'all played one of the better defenses that I've seen in quite some time. And I enjoyed. What was your thoughts on the split season? Because I kind of enjoyed that, because normally the routine is when August hits, September, high school football's going, college football's going, pros are going. So it's hard to watch everything, right? So it was, for me, I kind of enjoyed y'all playing in the spring because everything else was kind of done and I could focus on you guys. Was it a big adjustment for you playing in the spring? Did you like it, or would you rather play in the fall like normal?
Honestly, it was a big adjustment, mainly because we did witness a lot of the teams did play during the fall, and we really wanted to play during the fall. But, I feel like we made the better decision saying that we won a championship during spring. Right. But I honestly do. I love playing in the spring. And the reason why I said that is because I can't really stand the cold. I like warm. I like to go and tag somebody and not feel like all my fingers just crumbled off or something. So, right. So yeah.
I remember watching the game, and I remember them talking about the facilities and all that, and then I guess shortly after they renovated or upgraded the facilities for you guys. Is that right?
Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got brand new facilities. It looks great. So it was a long time coming, and I feel like we really earned it and deserve something like that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, Yins were going just off field at home, right? Yins were just going off the field, just a little ways off the field for halftime and stuff like that.
During halftime, we actually had to walk up the stadium, so we went up all those little flights of stairs you see, and into the weight room. So the weight room was our halftime locker room. We got changed there. We had our trainers there doing treatment and everything else.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's something you don't hear every day. Somebody not having facilities, in the middle of the season. It's one thing to be doing it in the off season, but for y'all to be on a championship run and not having full use of the facilities, that was kind of crazy. With the extra year of eligibility granted by the NCAA, why did you decide to return for another season with Sam Houston State? Because you've already got a championship. What motivated you to want to come back and try to do this again?
I'll say what motivated me was the fact that, I've built a real solid foundation here, and I have a real great support system from here, from my coaches, from, trainers and everything else that's here, my strength and conditioning coach, So I feel like, I've been all in this whole time, so I might as well finish and see it through. I've seen plenty of people, come and go from Sam and have the same opportunity I have right now, which is trying to make it to the next level, from Zion McCullum to Davion Davis to PJ Hall to Derek Roberson, so we have the exposure, so I see me being here, is the best thing for me,
Awesome. So we know COVID's hit for the past few years and different strands or variants, whatever. in what way has COVID impacted you the most in your everyday life?
Honestly, it has made me more of a germaphobe. Because before then, I wasn't too keen on, every time I come in the house, I wash my hands. Or I touch something,
Right.
wash my hands. Hand sanitizer in your back pocket, mask on. I say that has been one thing that it has done for me, but it's also made me realize the importance of the little things. Being able to go outside and do the things that you love, and like football or spending time with family. Because a lot of people wasn't able to do that. Especially if you had older people in your family. So it was
Right.
like a whole before I actually went and seen my grandfather. So, it pretty much made me appreciate the little things in life,
Right. And I get the germaphobe thing because at work, I'm just going and doing whatever. And, they put out all the hand sanitizers and stuff. And I'm still doing it now. It's just a small habit. Like you said, I picked up. I'm always, every time I deal with a driver and I go back to the office, I'm hand sanitizing and all that stuff. So I completely get the little germaphobe thing there. With Sam Houston State making the jump from FCS to FBS, what do you think is going to be the biggest difference in playing games between those two levels?
Honestly, from my perspective, because I have played FBS schools like New Mexico, and I have watched FBS games, and some of my teammates that I practice against, for example, like Eliasa Boatman, who just came from U of H, who I practice against as well. I don't really see a difference in the level of play. The main thing I see a difference is the level of exposure that the teams will have. And I think that's great. Having ESPN games and be able to create a bigger fan base and things like that, because I honestly think that it's not necessarily a difference in players, because hard work can beat talent any day. The best player can be beat by the 2-star recruit because he put more effort in and did what he had to do in order to get there.
Yep, completely agree with that. I do. So away from football, what do you like to do? Do you have any hobbies, any special skills, just anything that you like to do to kind of relax, rewind, just to kind of get away from the game of football?
I say I have a few things. For example, I like to paint. I like to do kind of abstract arts. I've taken up a few more books into my collection to read. I like to go horseback riding. If I'm from Beaumont, Texas, country boy at heart.
Right.
And also video games.
Okay, PlayStation, Xbox.
Xbox. I still have the Xbox right now. I'm working on getting the new gen, but I'm kind of in conflict because I'm not sure if I want to get the Xbox or switch to PC. PC been kind of looking good. They do so much more on it, but I might just say loyal to Xbox. I'm not too sure just yet.
You sound like my youngest son. I'm a PlayStation guy, so but yeah, he did the whole Xbox thing, and now he's fixing to be a senior here in a few days, so he's more into the PC games. So he's bought his own computer and he's wanting to kind of build it up for gaming. So yeah, that seems to be the trend nowadays.
Oh yeah, because you can do all type of things on there. So I might dabble in it a little bit. I'm not too sure yet.
Right.
Talking about talents, is there a teammate or a coach that has a hidden talent that maybe some Sam Houston State fans might want to hear about that no one knows? Or
oh, good question.
Give
us the dirty here.
Great singer.
Speaking of that, my teammate, he plays the same position as me, Jack. His name is Jalen Phillips. He can beat anybody, and I say anybody at any type of NFL, college football, trivia. He knows everything. You ask him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you ask him something about the 1960s, and he'll own it just like that. Yes, sir.
Wow, I like it.
NFL football trivia genius. Yes,
So
sir.
a historian of the game a little bit then.
Oh, yes, sir. Most definitely.
Yeah. With the NIL now in place, what are your thoughts on it? Do you have any deals in place? I mean, NIL's been something that's just kind of took college football by storm real quick. So I know it's not all settled out and everything like that yet, but what are your thoughts on it?
I believe, it's a great opportunity for both players and businesses to get, exposure out there to the public. I haven't received an NIL deal just yet, mainly because it's been kind of hard trying to figure out the right type of deal to get with people, and because it's such a new thing, most businesses and people don't know how to go about doing it. Right. So, I'm willing to collaborate with, anybody who offers an NIL deal, and I pretty much say, it's a great opportunity, and I'm looking forward to seeing if I have anybody reach out to me in time.
Right. So are they pretty much leaving it to the individual player to handle, or are they giving the school, I guess is what I'm trying to say, are they giving you some guidance on how to kind of handle this, or?
They leave it up to us to find them, but at the same time, they gave us guidance on the rules of what we can and can't do, who we can have in our deals with, who we can't have them with, and they also help look over the NIL deals before we sign any type of contract with that business. So that's
good. Yeah. Well, that's good. At least they're looking out for you and not letting you guys get into a bad contract of some kind that would hurt you in the future. So, what's one thing you think you need to improve the most about your game?
That's a tough question because I believe that, there's always room for improvement. No matter how good you think you are as a player, you always want to be better than you were the day before. So saying that, I believe one thing that I love about my game the most is my technique, and I believe that I can always find ways to improve my technique when it comes to pass rush or even to the point of knowing how to strip a football, like forcing fumbles, techniques and everything like that.
All right. To piggyback off that, what do you think the strongest part of your game is?
I say the strongest. I'll say my motor and not being fazed by adversity. Some people have a hard time facing adversity in the middle of a heated game. They tend to they tend to fold, under pressure, because they don't have the mindset to keep playing the next play. You might have one bad play, or you might have something happen in a game that you have no control over, but the thing that you have to focus on is the next play, because the game isn't over until the clock hits 0.
Awesome. So everybody knows I'm a huge music fan. I listen to everything. You name it, I've listened to it at some point or another. So I'm always looking for new stuff to listen to. So what's your favorite song of all time?
Of all time, I would say my favorite song of all time would be it's a Lil Wayne song. I used to listen to it. I used to listen to it growing up. It's 6 Foot, 7 Foot by Lil Wayne. The reason why it's my favorite song is because when I was younger, I was a big Beetlejuice fan. And you know the movie Beetlejuice? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
And whole little conga line dance, the little musical scene with 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot, yeah, punch. Yes, sir. And he sampled that song and put it into his own little rap verse and everything. And I thought it was pretty awesome.
Oh wow! Well, I'm definitely going to check that out. Like I said, I ask that to everybody we interview because I'm always looking for new music. So I'll definitely give that one a try.
Do you have like a bucket list concert? Like if you go see any concert, is there like a bucket list item concert you would go see?
I would say as of right now for a bucket list concert, I would love to go to like a Kendrick Lamar. I haven't been to one of his yet. And this is kind of this is different, but because the reason why it's different because I don't know if these guys are still together yet because I kind of just discovered them. But it's 3 days grace. You ever heard these guys?
Awesome!
I would like to go to them. I'm not sure if they're still together yet. I just discovered them, so it's like unknown territory at this moment.
That's awesome. Yeah, they're a good band. Definitely like them. What would you do career-wise if you didn't play football? What would you try to excel in?
I would say career-wise, outside of football, I would most likely try to excel in things such as real estate and working in the public health field because I just recently got my degree in public health, my bachelor's degree. So finding a department in public health and also doing real estate somewhere on the side with that would probably be my main focus.
Awesome.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to ask if you had like a favorite restaurant or favorite food around town that for your Sam Houston State followers.
Around town, such as near Sam Houston.
Yeah.
Okay. I say one of my favorite places to eat at Sam Houston out there in Huntsville, Texas is Mama Juanita's. It's a Mexican restaurant right off I-45. Yes, sir. They have, honestly, in my opinion, they have the best Hispanic food in Huntsville.
Wow, awesome!
I love Mexican food myself.
Yeah, so
me too.
Yeah, so if you're in Huntsville, I guess you can go ahead and check out Mama Juanita's. All the Mexican food lovers.
Maybe they're listening. They'll hook you up with an NIL deal.
Hopefully,
right? What's one game that you would recommend somebody if they said, "What's the one game I would watch of yours?" Which one is it that you would recommend that just shows off everything that you can do on the field?
I would say the playoffs 2020 versus Monmouth University. That was my first ever college playoff game, and it was actually one of my best games of that season. So I would say that game there, that or the game against McNeese during the season.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Do you play fantasy football?
No, sir. I do not play fantasy football. I haven't. I've heard of people playing about it, but I never just got too deep into it. You know what I'm saying? Because I guess it's really because I'm not really a betting type of person. If I get something, I like to keep it. So,
I understand. Right. I completely understand.
I'd rather lose it buying me something to eat,
I understand.
Right.
What NFL pass rusher do you pattern your game after?
I would say, people who I try to mimic or who I watch most when they're on the field, Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. I say Khalil Mack because I like his aggression, from his speed to power moves on his pass rush moves. And I say Joey Bosa because of his finesse with his technique,
Two good ones, two teammates now.
Oh yes, and that's pretty awesome too. So I'm can't wait to see how that works.
If you could replay a game, which game would it be and why?
I say the Montana State game from last year's playoff, 2021. The reason for that is because for one, we didn't win that game, which hurts, because we wanted to make a repeat, and a real historical event to that. And secondly, because I was ejected from the game for a targeting call, and I don't really agree with that call, but it's only so much you can do with the officials, So if I could replay it, what I'm saying, I'll execute the play the same way, but I'll probably, try not to go in like a bull.
Well, I think with the targeting calls, I feel like the defensive guys always get the bad rap. I mean, how many times do you see a running back or somebody drop their head, right? And they're the one causing the targeting, but the defensive guy gets blamed for it.
Right.
You can't anticipate that, right? I mean,
no, sir, you can't. I feel like that's probably what happened with me, in this case. But I would have to just, brush it off my shoulders and just get ready for this season, I guess.
It seemed like they were calling everything targeting. If it was even close, they were throwing the flag, right? Do you kind of feel like now they're being a little more lenient or a little more hesitant to call targeting? They kind of want to see the true what the rule was intended to protect, right? Because I think some of this, it's hard to lead with your shoulder and your head not come down, right? So do you think they're being a little more lenient with their calls on targeting now?
No, I think they're being pretty stern about their calls. I understand the reason is because they want to protect the players, and all that, but
Right.
I do believe that some calls, are questionable, and some calls shouldn't be blamed on the defensive player, because we are put in certain situations where, if we're in motion to tackle, we can't help it if that person puts their head down and collides helmets with us. So that being said, it's just, I guess we just gotta find a better way to play football in that aspect.
All right. So when you're on the field and everything's flowing and you guys are pinning your ears back and just going after people, what is your favorite defensive play call and why?
I wouldn't say I have a favorite call, but I have a favorite situation, which is third down plays. Because 9 times out of 10, third down plays, depending on the down and distance, it might be a pass play, depending on the team as well. And I love pass rushing, because I strongly love the idea of going one-on-one with the tackle and beating him to apply pressure or to get the sack on the quarterback, So third down,
Right.
Yes, sir.
So what opposing player was the toughest for you to cover and why?
I'll say the toughest for me to cover would have been Cameron Ward. He played for UIW in Carney Word. The reason why I say that is because he was a very agile and elusive player, and he could throw the ball. He can scramble and run it. So it was pretty much reacting off of what you see with him. And I had times when I believe I did get the sack on him, and he actually still was able to throw the ball while he was falling down.
Wow.
In mid tackle and got the ball off. So I thought that was just amazing. What I'm saying? I'm just like, wow, I tackled him, and he still threw the ball, and completed it. So so I say
All right.
the quarterback I played against last season.
I'm glad that you mentioned his name, because I know Hollywood doesn't like talking about offensive players, obviously, but I mean, I'm really excited to see what he's going to do at Washington State. You know, I think, I mean, he's got a lot of talent, and what amazes me is not to talk about him too much, but I think high school he played like in a triple option offense, right? And so you wouldn't expect someone that played in a triple option run offense to be passing the ball all over the place.
Right. Yeah, that's amazing, man.
So if you could talk to any three people in the world, dead or alive, who would they be and why?
I would say, for starters, my number one would be Ray Lewis. And the reason Ray Lewis would be one of them is because I felt like I could relate to him in a little bit, in a few ways. The reason I say this is because in high school, before every game, I used to listen to this speech called "The Greatest Speech of All Time." And in his speech, you know, he talked about how they say he was small, too small to play, or he wasn't strong enough, fast enough, you know, and he put forth effort in order to get where he needed to be and in order to make himself as great as he is now. And all it took was effort and dedication and discipline, you know, and I applied that to the way I practiced, the way I played, you know, to the way I worked out. And it's true, you know, it worked out for me at the end. And, you know, I since then, I've always seen him as, you know, one of the best linebackers of all time, you know. And secondly, I would say Bob Marley. And the only reason I say Bob Marley is because, you know, I loved his music. I loved what he believed in, you know, true peace, you know. And, you know, I feel like a conversation with him would, you know, would be like inspiring to anybody, really, you know, just to see how he actually felt and what he thought about certain things. I'll probably ask him about some things that's going on in today's society. And third, I said Jack Johnson. I don't know if you guys heard of him. You guys know who Jack Johnson is? First black world champ.
Yeah, the bare knuckle boxing champion. Yeah.
Yes, sir. From Galveston, Texas. The reason I would want to talk to him is because, you know, I believe he was probably like the bravest person in the world at that time to do what he did during that time, you know. So talking to somebody like him would, you know, most definitely have like a great conversation. You know? So that's the three I say I would love to talk to.
Well, those are three good ones and good answers. And I always felt like if Ray Lewis hadn't played football, he missed his calling as a motivational speaker, right? I mean, I could just imagine him getting people pumped up and them running through brick walls with the way he can motivate and talk. So,
right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Ray Lewis really impacted, that speech really impacted me a lot because coming out of high school, I was only like $182. You know, I was.
So you grew a little bit since then. If you had to tell an aspiring high school player what's the hardest part of playing college football is, what would that be and why?
I would say the hardest part about playing college football isn't really the aspect of playing college football, but it is the challenge of staying disciplined with things outside of football. You know, because in college it's easy for players to get distracted and lose track of why they're really there in college because there's so much things going on all at once. And by losing track of that, it'll make you lose track of football, and you know it'll throw you off your game. You know, so it's the toughest part is staying focused. You know, because I've seen a lot of people, you know, not just at Sound, but at other schools too. You know, people that I knew from back home and from out of town, they went to school and they were probably like the best players and could have been doing the same thing I was doing and lost focus because of all the outside noise. You know,
right?
You know, you just got to have tunnel vision. You know, you got to know what you're there for. You got to know what you want. You got to stay dedicated to that.
What would you say maybe is the biggest adjustment for you going from, you know, living at home and you know, going to college where you're kind of on your own?
The biggest adjustment for me was not having, I say not having my number one fans with me, my family, what I'm saying, my true support system. Because it's different, coming home to your mom and brothers and sisters, and being able to talk to them, then coming home to to your roommates. Of course you get along with your roommates, your teammates, but it's just some things that they can't, do for you like your family can, so
Right.
I say it's just the family aspect, for me, because I'm a real family oriented guy.
Right. And then our last question, if you had to give any pointers, what would they be?
Any pointers? I say two things that define a great player or a great team are their effort and how they respond to adversity. Because the most talented player or team, can be outplayed by players that give more effort in things that relate to that sport, football or any other sport, and the best player or team will fold if they don't know how to react to adversity. And when you basically it's when you get hit in the mouth, are you going to be a victim or are you going to be a warrior? Are you going to stand up and fight or are you going to cower and let that person who hit you in the mouth be?
Right. And I think Mike Tyson had one of the best quotes ever that I've ever heard from anybody. Everybody has a plan until they get hit in the mouth. And
right.
I mean, if you think about it, that's about as real as you can be. I mean, you can plan and prepare and do whatever, but until somebody just walks up and hits you in the mouth, you don't know how you're going to react or really what you're going to do or the outcome of it. So, yeah,
all right.
That's good advice. I like it, man.
Thank you.
Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to or thanks before we end the interview?
I would like to thank my mother, first of all, because she's always been there, my greatest support system. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here today, taking me from practice, little league to high school to now to helping me through college. I would like to thank God most importantly above all, because without him, I would not have no success at all, without his blessings and his guidance. And honestly, I like to give a shout out just to my teammates, the ones who I played with in the past and ones I play with now. You know what I'm saying? Like, the time is here, the time is here, whether you're here on the field or whether you're out in the world doing what you have to do in your life right now. The time is here. We're all on our own time. So make success in anything that you do. Take it as far as you can. What I'm saying? No matter how small it may be, because the little things matter. It's the small details that created the biggest boat, or the small details that create the greatest teams. So that's it.
Well, that's good, man. Again, we thank you for taking the time to do this with us. I know you're busy. You got camp coming up and school and everything going on. And like you said, you were moving. So, again, we appreciate you for taking the time to do this. People can follow you on Twitter at K3L at King Kel Perry. Do you have an Instagram that they can follow you at as well? Or
yes, sir, I do. It's _King Kel. Yes, sir.
Okay, awesome. So be sure to go to Twitter and Instagram and follow him. Watch his games this upcoming season. We wish you the best of luck, man. Hopefully you can get another championship run and get another ring for you.
Yes, sir. And thank you guys so much for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. I enjoyed this whole experience with you guys.
I was going to say, I look forward to hearing your name get called that first game against Texas A&M and you sack a quarterback. That'd be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I would absolutely love that. Being an SEC guy, yeah, that would be great.
Oh, yes, sir. I guess I'm going to have to make that happen for you guys.
But, yeah, we thank you so much for taking the time to do this. Once we get this up on the podcast and the written, I'll tag you and let you know. That way you can watch for it and share it around. And hopefully we can bring a little exposure to your name and get you out there and get you noticed a little more and push you as you go on to bigger and better things, man.
Oh, yes, sir. Most definitely. Yes, sir.
All right. Well, we thank you for being on, and that concludes our interview. And this is Markel Perry from Sam Houston State. Go check him out. Give him a follow, and we will see you all next week.
Go Bearcats.
Go